got dust in my GQ. Oh
Are you serious?
yeah. Dude, this can. I have like I had three of each horror can left, and it says they're best by August 9th of this year. But I'm gonna drink them. So,
Best Buy.
but they've been sitting in there for a while, so they're a little dusty. Okay, my GoXLR interface just popped up. Do I still sound fine?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's
Yeah,
doing.
you still sound fine. Yeah,
Fucking thing.
for context, we just spent the past, like, what was it, like 15 minutes trying to figure out audio issues.
I think 15 minutes is exaggerating. I think like 5. But
Whatever. It felt like 15. Whatever.
there are things
Anyways.
flashing on my screen. I don't. Oh God.
The Call of Duty update broke everything. Treyarch sucks, I guess. I don't. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. So I was gonna tell you earlier, then I forgot. So did you hear that story about like there was some helicopter or plane that was helping out with the fires in California, and then it got hit by a drone?
No, I didn't
You
hear
didn't hear
about
that?
that.
Yeah, there was some aircraft that was helping put out the fires in California, and a drone hit it, and it went down. Right? Yeah, it turns out it was like one of the leads, like one of the head developers at Treyarch. Yeah, dude. He
Like
he
their drone?
their drone crashed into a freaking. I was like, dude, I think he's actually supposed to pay like a fine or something like that, or maybe he gets like I don't know if he
Bro
gets jail
was
time. But
bro was on a kill streak.
I was like, oh, dude, yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah, pretty
Dude,
pretty
I
bad
have like
stuff.
an eyelash in my eye. We are just all kinds of out of whack this morning, but or afternoon. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Um, you got any like updates this week? Anything
Uh,
interesting?
I rearranged my apartment a little bit, and
Looks
I
like
have.
shit. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke.
You get nothing that I've rearranged. You can
I know.
even
I can't
see
even.
it's all on that
Yeah.
side of the apartment. But I have made some room for another 3D printer. So I think when I hit 6, that's my limit, unless I get a resin printer. But and then dude, I was kind of explaining it earlier. So I bought a glass build plate for one of the newer printers that I got, right? And I'm like, oh, it's $10, it's whatever. And work had given me like a $25 Amazon gift card for doing a survey on their timekeeping thing, right? And so I bought this glass build plate and an SSD, and which by the way, SSDs are like $50 for a terabyte now, which is insane. But anyways, so this glass build plate shows up and I put it in there, and then I'm thinking, oh, like I need to start going through some of the boxes in my closet, and I found out that I actually have 3 more glass build plates just sitting in a box. So I didn't even need to buy that one. I was like, well, all right, whatever. Those
You
are backups
return
now.
it or
No, I'm gonna
no? It's a
keep it.
backup.
Yeah, it's back. The other ones are
Okay.
backups now. So, but yeah, that's about it. What about you?
Well, besides the obvious like trip that I just went on, Pollo Loco at 184K
Which
views.
is crazy. That's a huge jump, isn't
That
it?
is crazy. It's like 10,000 views a week, I think is what
Wow.
we're averaging. So that's pretty cool.
Wow.
At 175K, we tried the Costco double chunk chocolate cookie and the chicken bake, and the chicken bake was like the most overrated, overhyped thing
Yeah.
I've ever had. It had like no flavor.
Maybe you just got a bad one. Who knows? How was the cookie?
Oh, the cookie was great. The cookie was perfect. No complaints there. It stayed warm for a really long time, which was surprising. Um, at 200K, I plan on releasing the uncut behind the scenes footage. I had released some versions of behind the scenes footage for the DD23 Productions Patreon, which turned into the Cool Ranch Corner Patreon. And I obviously took stuff out to avoid spoilers. And so now, I'll put a warning like, you know, this behind the scenes footage contains spoilers.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody who wants to see how the leg thing, like, dude, I saw I rewatched some of the footage, and I'm just like standing there like in awe of the fact that it worked, like it's crazy. Um that was a very ambitious scene, especially for like a first short film. But yeah, I don't really have anything besides that. I'll talk about our trip here in a minute. Always ready updates. I've been working on the shot deck and using AI to create like it's really tricky though.
What
Like
AI have you
it
been
takes a
using?
lot. Grok.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing I hate about ChatGPT is they give you like 3 images a day, but Grok like it gives you
Yeah.
like an infinite amount, and it gives you four every time you do a prompt. So if you don't like one of
Yeah.
them, you might have one that you like a little bit better. So yeah, Grok's been pretty good for that. That's you.
It's frustrating though, because like I tell it I like this, but do this. And then it changes the other thing anyways. And I'm like,
So
the fuck, man?
at work, we we'll like mess around with AI sometimes, and I was like, you know what, like no one really uses Grok, so I started showing people it, and then one of the first things someone did was they just sent me like a screenshot of what they generated, and their prompt was make a picture of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on a date on a beach. And it was just them like kissing. I was like, "What the heck?"
That's funny.
But yeah, what I've noticed about Grok is a lot of the time um it'll remember the stuff from previous prompts even when you tell it to forget that. So you'll be like, "Oh, I want you to make a picture of a monkey eating a banana," and then it'll make the images and you'll go, "Oh, on a spaceship," and then it'll add that in there, and then you'll go, "Actually, never mind. I want it to be a monkey on a pirate ship, and it's a pirate ship that's in space," and you're like, "No, that's not really what I wanted." You can upload images to Grok, so maybe you could take one of the ones that you like and then send
I've
it
tried
back.
that and it's like I can't recreate that, but I can create a description and blah blah blah, and the description's like never good enough. But
Hmm.
I mean, I try to use real life images whenever I can, but sometimes I just can't find exactly what I'm looking for. Um, and so like doing the opening sequence is a little trickier because I'm very specific about how I want the film to start and look and all that stuff and the things it's trying to establish and like the stuff with like Air Station San Francisco, there's not a lot of pictures because it's a military base, so they don't like,
Yeah,
people
you
can't
can't
just
take
take
pictures
pictures
there.
of it. So what I did was I screenshotted like Google Maps or whatever where you can do the street view and I used that to help generate it and that helped. So that was interesting, but I'm through some of the harder stuff now and there is pictures that I can find for a lot of things. So and then I have this thing called Film Vibes, which is a website where you type in what you're looking for and it pulls up movie stills that are similar to what you're looking for, so
Hmm.
that'll get a lot of the conversation stuff uh pretty easy, I think. So um anyways, I wanted to talk about my trip to New York because it was crazy.
Is this related to the
So
Jersey Mike's thing, by the way?
yes, that will come up at some point.
Oh Lord.
So I flew to Atlanta, right, and that was a 2 hour flight. I noticed the Albuquerque airport is going through a ton of renovations, and it's starting to look like a real airport. Like it doesn't look like for instance, our hometown airport, really small. It used to look more like that. Now it's starting to look more like a medium-sized airport, I guess
Hmm.
is the way to put it. Like there's a lot more open space. They have like a Dunkin' Donuts and stuff now. Like they're adding like actual restaurants and stuff. It's
Are
cool.
you holding that freaking cube?
Yeah, dude.
This guy.
We sold like 10 of them. um anyways, derailed me from my story. The Atlanta airport is massive. Massive. I think it's the biggest airport in the country. It might be. Um it's insane. And I decided to not take the train because I had time during my layover to just like walk and get my steps in. And so it was like a 20-minute walk from like one gate to the gate that I needed to get to. And so I got to see the airport. And there was one part I walked through that looked like a rainforest. And there was like pretty lights on the ceiling.
Oh
It's a
wow.
really cool airport. And they have like any food you can think of. Uh, Pretty much, but like some of them would be like, oh, this one's in, that side of the airport. It's like, damn, Chipotle's all the way over there. I don't have time to go all the way over there and back. So that's frustrating. But um, anyways, the way there, totally fine. Our security at the Albuquerque airport is great. Like, if anything, they have more TSA than they need, and they have like upgraded equipment. You remember I noticed at every airport I went to, they have new X-ray machines. So they used to have like where you step into a tube, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and it says like there's like a little clock on it, and it says you like stand like this for 3 seconds, right? Now it's literally just like instead of a tube, it's just a section. It almost looks like you're walking through a metal detector at the store, like on the way out that checks if you stole anything, and it just tells you to stand like this.
Like an A pose instead. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like a second. It only took like a second, and no problem. So, anyways, I fly from Atlanta to I think it was I don't even remember which airport it was. Anyways, I'm in New York now. Um, I think it was New York. It's that whole area is confusing because New York and Jersey look so similar. But I'm in New York. I go to my hotel immediately, change, go literally around the corner from my hotel, and it turns out Netflix owns like this little movie theater right there called the Paris Theater, and it's literally just one auditorium with a ton of seats and like an upstairs balcony with seating and stuff. And I saw Amy Schumer's new film, which I've never been a huge fan of Amy Schumer's comedy, but it's a Happy Madison production. It's called Kinda Pregnant. It's on Netflix now. But it's basically she she finds out her boyfriend's cheating on her, and so she's like, all down and sad about it. And then she goes with a friend who's like trying on maternity clothes, and she sees this like fake baby bump, or like that you could put on so that when you try on the clothes, like you could see if it's gonna like fit right. And she puts it on, and then all of a sudden like the lady comes to see if the changing room's open, and she's like, oh my gosh, how far along are you, and starts talking to her. She's like, oh, like makes up some bullshit. And then she's like, she runs into this lady while she's like walking out, and she's like, oh, you should come do our like yoga thing or whatever. Or I don't remember exactly how it happened, but anyway, she makes a friend at this like maternity yoga class, right? And so she like starts going over to this friend's house and is like meeting her family, and Will Forte is like the uncle who like lives in the garage. Like, it's like an Adam Sandler
But
movie.
she's just pretending to be
But
pregnant
she's pretending to be pregnant.
the whole time.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
And so she gets into these like awkward situations. It was legitimately funny. It was really funny. It was a funny movie. And if you like those old school Adam Sandler movies, give it a watch. It's better than most Netflix movies. But it's also like, a silly premise, and like
Yeah.
it reminded me of like Mr. Deeds, where it's got like it's almost like that reporter chick is pretending to be like actually interested in him, except it's like, oh, she's a lady who's like pretending to be pregnant to make friends. And so yeah, no, but great cast, really funny. There was a really awkward scene, and I was sitting next to these kids, and I'm like, why are these kids here? This is a rated R movie. And then towards the end of the scene, there was like a button to the joke, right? Where like all of a sudden this family is like standing there like awkwardly, and it was the family next to me, and I was just like, that's so weird.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Keegan Michael Key was sitting behind me, just laughing his ass off the whole time, and Damian Wayans Jr. was there because he's in the movie, so they were laughing a lot. Adam Sandler was there, of course, because his production company did it. Chris Rock was with him. Jerry Seinfeld was there because he just made that Pop Tart movie, so I think he was there to like show support.
Pop Tart.
The head, yeah, I think it's called like Unfrosted or something. I didn't see it. I heard it wasn't that great, but it's like how the Pop Tart became an idea or something. Whatever, man.
No,
Not important.
The way you said the Pop Tart movie.
That's what it is. It's a movie about the Pop Tart. The invention of the Pop Tart. Anyways, the Netflix CEO was there. The head of Netflix Film was there. Really cool. Free popcorn. You know, it was a cool little event. But then I went to the after party, and the after party was insane. It was just like all the filmmakers and the actors, and they had like fancy food, and there'd be like people like walking around like, "Do you want some of this?" You know, and it's like some fancy little shit, and you're like, "I don't know, that's a gamble. This could be like doo doo or something," you know. Um, I only saw one other influencer there that I recognized, and it I don't know. Some people are just not good at talking, so I
You
didn't really interact with them too much. But
you mentioned like the fancy stuff. It reminds me of the that Wise Kids You Know sketch where like Trevor Moore, he's like walking around and there's a group of people and they're like, "Oh, is that free? Oh yeah. Okay, I'll take one." And he eats it. He's like, "Oh, this is disgusting. What is that?" He goes, "It's tar on toast." He goes, "You're serving that?" He goes, "I didn't say you could have it. Like you just took it off the plate. Like it's not my fault." He's like, "Why are you serving tar on toast?" "I'm not serving it. I just had it on the plate. You just took it."
it's just standing there. Um. Anyways, Adam Sandler and Chris Rock are like just mingling around, right? And Amy Schumer and all them are there. I see Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna say hi. So I'm like, hey, like big fan, you know. And Adam Sandler is talking to Chris Rock. Like I thought it was a good time to come up, and then Chris Rock started talking to him again. And so Adam Sandler like didn't make eye contact and just fist bumped me, and I was like, oh well, that was kind of lame, you know. Like I didn't actually like he didn't even like look at me
Yeah.
when I did that. So I was like, oh well, that kind of sucks. And I was like, meh, maybe I'll just take off. You know, like this. I'm here by myself. It just feels like an awkward situation. Everybody else knows somebody here. Um, and then Will Forte is like standing after the corner talking to somebody, and the person he's talking to walks off, and then he like looks around and he looks at me and goes like that, and then I walk over and I start talking to him, and we talk for like a half hour. And
That's
he's like
cool,
the
man.
coolest guy ever. Yeah. We talked about all kinds of film stuff. Talked about making the movie. He told me some fun stories from it. Talked about filming in New Mexico because he filmed a lot of stuff out here. Talked about that Coyote versus Acme movie that he was in because he's like the lawyer representing the Coyote. And they Warner Brothers, they wrote that movie off as a tax write off, right? Like for like 30 million. And everybody who was a part of it, because John Cena was in it, I think they were all like, "Why did they shelf this? This is a good movie. Like everybody likes it. Doesn't make any sense, you know." And then they like came out and said, "Oh well, if anybody wants to buy it, the price is like 120 million." And of course, nobody wants to pay that for a movie, you know, because then they have to still market it, distribute it, all that.
Yeah.
Too expensive for a movie that didn't cost that much to make. Um, and so it never came out. And so I talked to Will Forte about that. He's like, yeah, man, it's like such bullshit, this and that. And then literally like the day I get back from New York, I see like news articles, like a bunch of them. And it's like Will Forte says the shelving of Coyote versus Acme was fucking bullshit. And I'm like, I just talked to him about that. That's hilarious. Um,
That's
but
it.
anyways,
Wait, so but that wasn't like a situation where someone had overheard. Like he just had an interview about that, or like I'm confused.
yeah, he somebody asked him about it again and he like went off. But like I think he'd been talking about it a lot. And so he was just like he said it gets my blood boiling in the
Wow.
thing, the quote.
Dang.
Uh yeah, so that was really interesting. But I got a picture with him. And then well, I saw Adam Sandler. I didn't ask for a picture with Will Forte yet. And then I saw Adam Sandler again, but he was by himself. And so I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, you know, like just wanted to say that my parents got divorced when I was like 7, and my siblings and I watched your movies a lot, and like I think it helped us get through it, you know." And like that, and he was like, "Oh man, that must have been tough, this and that." And then I said, "Yeah, but the bright side is, you inspired me to be like goofy and be myself, and now I have 8.5 million followers where I'm goofy on the
Yeah.
internet for a living." And he's like, "Oh man, that's really cool." He's like, "That's almost too many followers," like joking around. And then I was like, "Yeah, but anyways, thank you, And he's like, "Yeah, man, no thank you." And then goes to walk off, and I'm like, "I'm gonna regret it if I don't ask." And I'm like, "Hey, actually, can I get a quick picture with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right," And then so we go and we take the picture, and it was really dark in there. And so my phone did that thing where when you're taking a selfie, it's
It,
like hold still. And so
oh,
like we're standing there for like 10 seconds while it's like slowly developing this picture, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, this damn thing's taking forever. He's like, and then I got the picture and he walked off, and then I see Will Forte. So I walked back up to him and um I said, hey, I'm gonna take off, because I gotta go to this like press junket thing tomorrow. But it was really great talking to you. You think I can get a quick photo with you? And he's like, yeah, man, of course. Puts his drink down. We take a picture, and he's like, no, seriously, man, it was a pleasure talking to you. Like, thanks for the conversation and everything. And walked away. And I was like, man, Will Forte is the man. It's like the coolest guy ever. I mean, this guy's been he was in the Lego movie. Like, he did so
yeah.
much stuff. Really cool guy. And then the next day, I had the Cobra Kai press junket. So I was feeling so jet lagged, man. So I think I went back to the hotel, um, ate some snacks while I like answered comments on TikTok, and then got my TikToks ready for the next day, and then got my outfit ready for the next day. And then it's like 3 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, the press junket starts at like I'm supposed to be there at 2:30. Or I'm supposed to be there at 2, and then at 2:30 it starts. So if I go to bed now, I can sleep till like 11 and be fine, right? Like I wake
Yeah.
up, maybe get a little workout in. And so I wake up at 11 and I'm like, I feel a little better, but I still feel like I just need to sleep more. But I, got up and did everything anyway, started recording my TikTok for the day, which I posted like vlogs about this whole thing, which is really cool because you can see everything I'm talking about. There's like footage of like Amy Schumer dancing and stuff at the after party. And I'm like, but um, so I go to the press junket, and I was like the only like influencer person there. Everybody else was like interviewers for like outlets and stuff. Was really interesting because I recognized some of them because they've been doing it for a long time. But the guy who plays Johnny had to cancel, unfortunately, for like some scheduling conflict. So it was Ralph Macchio.
I don't know if it's Machio or Machio. I don't know.
Ralph Macchio.
I don't.
Anyways, the Karate Kid. Um,
The
he was
Karate
going to be
Kid.
the Karate Kid was going to be by himself, and then the four guys, the four they were like the four male teens. That's what they kept referring to them to because none of the girls were there. None of the females from the cast were there. But I interviewed the four teens first. They were super cool and just like really easy to talk to. Really funny banter. I made a couple TikToks with them. I posted one of those where we did like the pass the phone challenge. Um, and then I interviewed Ralph, and that was like so surreal because I remember watching The Karate Kid when we were like, 5 or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
mom introduced us to that long, and I told him that. I'm posting the clip about it today, but it was so hard not to fanboy. And I told the Netflix people, they're like, "What do you think? How'd it go?" And I'm like, "I think it went great. I mean, I fanboyed for like the first minute, but they're like, oh, how can you not? I mean, it's the Karate Kid, you know."
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's crazy because so one of the things that they always say about him is that guy like doesn't age. He
yeah,
doesn't
no, he's like
age.
63 and he looks like he's 40.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But good for him. Good for him, dude. That's that's what happens to a lot of.
He's shorter.
He's shorter. You're saying that might be why or
It like I've talked about it before. They have done research at people who are shorter age slower because like your heart doesn't have to work as hard, the blood doesn't have to go as far. Um, a lot of the people that you ever see those articles and it's like oldest person in the world turns 113. You go look and they're like 5 feet tall, like
yeah,
flat 5 feet tall. And it's like shorter people just live and age slower, I guess. But
yeah. Unless you treat your body like crap.
yeah, I mean, you just still have to take care of yourself. Although some of those people, they're like, yeah, I'm 112 and I drink Coca-Cola and smoke cigarettes
Yeah,
all
you seen
day.
that
And
one
it's
lady?
like, what the fuck?
She was talking about how like she drinks like 3 Dr. Peppers a day, and her doctor was like, "You need to stop drinking Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill you. Like if you keep drinking Dr. Pepper the rate you're drinking it now, you'll die in like 2 years." And the doctor died before she did. She was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
take that." Just
And I still drink my Dr. Pepper.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Health is a weird thing because I mean, you see these actors like dying of like heart stuff in their 60s. But then you got like Clint Eastwood, he's 93 and he's still making movies.
Yeah,
Like what the hell?
I guess the thing that has always been confusing to me is it's like is that like stress related? Is it related to like substance abuse? Like what causes that? 'Cause especially
I don't think it's stress related because I think they've shown that stress makes your body more resilient.
to an extent.
So,
I did see one thing. It was you know how like have you ever heard that of that like phenomenon where like somebody will like work for like 20 years straight, no breaks, no days off, like finally takes a vacation, right? And then like after a week of them being on vacation, they have a heart attack and die.
yeah, well, I mean, there's something really interesting. I don't know what the correlation is or what, but they say that like when people retire, like
They
their
just
life
die.
expectancy is like 10 years after that
Yeah.
because like so many people just like I don't know. I just that's why people are like, why filmmaking? Why do you want to do that so bad? I'm like, that's something I can literally do till I die. There's always an aspect of it that I can still do,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, when I'm 80 years old, like maybe I can't, maybe I'm not in physical shape enough to like act, or maybe directing isn't as, it takes longer, you know? Like, I mean, Ridley Scott, they're like, that guy's using like 12 cameras at once for every scene. And it's like, I mean, you're Ridley Scott, you got the money and you can't do things like you used to. I think that's, I mean, Gladiator 2 looked great. So I'm not complaining. The crew is complaining though, because they said it made it really hard to light stuff and things like that. But
Yeah.
whatever, movie turned out great and it did well enough. So take that, I guess. Ridley Scott rules. Um, and it's funny because Ridley Scott just doesn't give a fuck.
Well,
But I think I could write till the day I die. I don't know
I,
how good
I,
the writing's gonna
I
be,
was gonna
but
say even like the guy who played Black Panther, what's his name? Chadwick Boseman or something like that. I forgot what his name is, but it's Chadwick something. But that guy literally had cancer and was still doing those movies. I think he was doing other
yeah,
movies
it's really
too.
sad because you look at like there was like I still haven't seen it, but I heard it was really decent. Um, I need to watch that. It's like a movie where he's like a detective, and it was like one of the last movies he made, and it's like you could tell he looks really skinny, but yeah, dude was a I don't know if he was just on a bunch of meds to get him through it, but dude was working until like he
Yeah.
finally like
Well,
had to like be in a bed and broke. You know, it's unfortunate.
I don't know if it was
He's a really
Comic
good actor
Con.
too.
There was some press event that he was doing where he was up on a stage, and he's sitting there next to I want to say it was Chris Evans,
Mhm.
and you see him like kind of like resting his eyes, and Chris Evans is like, "Hey, wake up," and he's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." He's like, "All right," like you can see like he's struggling on stage, like
Sad.
it's yeah, it's rough. And then what I think is really frustrating is then Black Panther 2 came out, and it was like they didn't even really pay respects to him. Like
Did you watch it?
I I I think I did.
A whole movie is paying respects to him.
Not in like a great way.
Dude, the movie has a great like score. I'm like I mean like the critic scores and the audience scores are great. Everybody seems to like it. You could definitely tell that it was one of those situations where it's like it had to be completely rewritten, you know, because unfortunately it, like that happened. But I thought it was great. It paid
I
homage.
heard people complaining that it was like why not just leave the character alone? Like they ended up was it because wasn't it about like the sister like the entire movie? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I thought that
It's literally about her dealing with his death. Like it's really sad.
uh,
It's a really sad movie.
maybe I didn't see it then. I don't know. 'Cause
It's worth watching if you respect Chadwick Boseman and you want to like see how they handled it because it was legitimately a good movie. It had like a really cool needle drop underwater sequence that stuck with me. You know, like a really good song and stuff. But
maybe I'm thinking of something else then. But I had heard people complaining about like why even make a new. Oh, I know what it was. It was I saw the trailer and people were in the comments saying that they feel like they should just like leave that character alone because like what's the point? Like calling it Black Panther 2 when it's not actually about him. Like what's the point of that? I think that's what the
yeah, I
complaint
mean,
was. Which I
I think they
get.
had it was the same director. And I think if any like it was pretty much up to that director if he still wanted to make a movie that kind of like passed the torch and paid respects, or just kind of like leave it alone. And I think he made the right choice. They handled it very well, and I think it was just a sad movie, and that's why people weren't like, oh, like this movie. It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of sad, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Mm.
Um, yeah. Um. Anyways, to finish my
You
traveling
talking about
shenanigans.
Jersey Mike's or what?
Anyways, after that, I go back to the hotel. I packed because I was like, okay, I have to. It was such a short trip. I literally had to get ready to like go to the airport because I had to get up at like 4 in the morning again to go. Um, and then the Netflix team took me out to dinner, so that was nice. They did that when I went to the Extraction one too, and they took me to this Italian restaurant that was phenomenal. I had this chicken. So we started out. We had this. I can't even remember what it was called, but it was like Italian bread. It had like toppings on it, like some kind of fancy cheese. It was so good.
Just
And then
garlic
like this,
bread.
it's just like no, like it was insane, man. Like I don't even know what was on it. It was so good though. Um, like Bobby would love it. And then we had this like they're like, and let's get a salad too, yeah. And I'm like, sure, whatever you guys think. And then we got some wine. But the salad was like some kind of Brussels sprout salad, dude. It was amazing. Like I'm like, they were talking about it. They're like, yeah, it's good. And it's like, I wish I could cook Brussels sprouts like this. They're like, it's like it tastes so good. It had like I think it had like candied pecans in it and stuff. It was just a really good like small appetizer salad bread combo thing that wasn't too much. And then it came time to like order our actual food, and I got the chicken parmesan. It was like pepperoni chicken parmesan. So like chicken parmesan, but they put like pepperoni on it and it almost looked like a pizza. A lot of people are like, "Yo, that pizza looks good." I was like, "Bro, that is a slab of fried chicken, man. It's so good." It was insanely good, and I had like a side of spaghetti with it because you could do that. So I had like some noodles. Like it was awesome. Um,
I can't eat that much food, man. That's a lot of food.
well, I don't really eat the rest of the day. I mostly eat in the evenings,
I
and
usually
so
do.
I'm usually really hungry.
Well, that's usually how. Well, so what happened is when I was working second shift, I would work 9.5 hours, and usually like I wouldn't even really eat at work. Like I'd have like a couple Slim Jims or something, like a bag of chips, and then I'd come home and
Yeah.
eat. And like the amount of food that I would eat would be about the same as I eat now. Like I don't think I've ever really eaten that much food whenever I do eat. Like I just don't have the space for it.
Yeah. I mean, I could put some food down. I could put some food down. You're gonna see when I come to visit, man. I'm gonna get that tour of Italy.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely gonna get myself some ravioli with some lasagna frita. I'm gonna tell them put that freaking meat sauce on the side or marinara or whatever they end up giving me. I'm gonna put the sauce on the side. I want
Well, we'll
marinara.
we'll we'll be like marinara, not
Well, dude,
meat
we
sauce.
literally got Olive Garden for my birthday.
I'll make him
Like,
send it back.
yeah, well, that's one thing that's nice about actually going there because we got
Yeah.
we got it one time and then we were driving. Oh, it was during the pandemic. We were on our way home, and I think before we left, I was like, let's check, and we were like, yeah, that's marinara. And as we're on our way home, I'm like, I'm gonna check it again, and I look and I'm like, no, there's like what are you doing, man? Um, I was like, there's like chunks in there, and like it was like they had gotten marinara and put it into a bowl that already had meat sauce in it. And I was like, ooh. I was like, you guys, like, it's not that hard to just give me straight up marinara. You guys have it for other stuff. I don't know why this is so difficult.
I'm gonna get you one of these for Christmas.
No, man.
Yeah, they're so relaxing.
I have, I
They, they,
have, I
they
have
have
like
ones that look like
a
donuts.
beanbag.
They have ones that look like donuts.
Dude, I don't like when people just give me random crap, man.
It's like a stress
Yeah,
ball,
where
but
am I
like
gonna
way
put it?
better.
In my freaking studio apartment, man. I'm gonna have it on my desk where I
I
really
see
have any
I
space.
see a space back there next to that candle. Um.
Yeah, yeah, right, man.
Anyways, back
There,
to back
there's
to the
like
Italian
eight candles
restaurant.
that were over there earlier, bro.
Back to the Italian restaurant. Then we had this like lemon bar dessert thing that was we just like shared it. Like we all like got some bites of it so we didn't like all be fatties because we had already eaten a lot of food. Um And I had already met these people. They were the exact same people that I met like a year and a half ago for the Extraction premiere. So it was awesome. There was no like awkward ice breaking. We just like talked like friends. It was great. They're great people. Um, and then and it's funny talking to them about like Netflix stuff, and like other shows and things like that because they kind of have a different perspective. They work for Netflix. Um, anyways, the other thing that was really interesting about that place is like they were talking about they're like, oh, do you guys want a bottle of sparkling water or do you want just tap water? And one of them was like, oh, tap water's fine, and I'm like, okay. And then they come and like I think every 5 seconds, like you would take a drink and this guy would be like, you feel it? Because they were like whiskey glasses. They weren't like big giant glasses. So this guy was doing his job.
God, I wonder how much they get
But
paid.
the probably like a normal waiter. The I like throughout the dinner, I'm like drinking this water and I'm just like, this is tap water? And she was like, yeah, no, New York has really good tap water. It's good, huh? I'm like, this shit tastes better than like a bottle of water. It was ridiculous.
Well, that's why
I
they
don't know
say
how it
that's
works.
why they say New York pizza is the way that it is because of the tap
Yeah.
water. Yeah.
Well, they say that and now I understand because that was the first time I'd experienced that. But it was because I told Bobby and she's like, "Oh, I'm not." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. It's not like California where they do like toilet to tap. Like this is like legitimately like good, clean, fresh water." And she said it depended on like what district of the city you're in, but we were in a nice area, so like it was she knew it was going to be good. And so yeah, that was really interesting. But then I head back to the hotel and I had eaten so much food and I was so tired that I was just like, oh, I was like that plankton meme where,
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
yeah.
yeah. And so like I like set a timer on my phone. I was like, I'm just gonna take a 20-minute nap and then I'm gonna go work out. 20-minute nap, go work out. I kept resetting that bitch.
Yeah.
I slept for like an hour and a half. And then I got up and I had like the worst headache and I realized I've only been drinking the G Fuel hydration. I haven't had any caffeine today. And so I walked down to
Oh,
like,
yeah.
but I didn't want to make a G Fuel right before I was going to go to like, I was like, all right, I'm just going to like finish packing and then I'm going to actually go to bed. But I was like, this headache's getting worse. So I walked down to like a CVS. I got like a Coke Zero and a protein bar. Came back, had that, took some Tylenol, and then I went to bed. 3 hours later, woke up, headache was gone. So I was like, cool. I'm so glad when like other people were like, you go to bed and you wake up and it's turned into a migraine or some bullshit. Like I'm pretty good at like
Dude, I had a
combating
migraine
these.
this week actually.
I do not envy you. I'm so sorry. That's awful.
Oh yeah, dude, it's
Um,
so hard to drive with a migraine. I'm just
yeah.
ugh.
But I woke up and it's like I'm like at like 3 hours later, I'm like I feel pretty good. I shower, get dressed, record that I'm going to the airport, and then record my journey. And so this time I flew out of the Newark Liberty Airport, and it was super fancy, really nice airport. Everything was just like, damn, this place is state of the art. Like I feel like I'm in the future. It's so nice. But the TSA, the worst TSA I've ever seen. They were rude. I asked a question. I was like, "Do you need my laptop out of the bag?" No, you don't need your laptop. I'm like, "Fuck, man! I just asked a question. I'm just trying to make your job easier, make sure that I don't make it harder, bitch. Like why you gotta be rude?" And then they flag my bag, and then they don't even check it. So they just had me standing there like an idiot for 15 minutes while my bag sat there, and then they're just like, "Is this yours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, here you go." And I'm like, "You didn't even look at it. What the fuck was the point of that?" While I was standing there for 15 minutes, there's this old guy who looks like he's straight out of The Sopranos, and he's just like, "Oh, there's fucking I don't know what the yeah." I'm like, I asked him, like, "What's wrong? What'd they do? They got you?" He's like, "They lost my glasses. My glasses. I didn't need my glasses." And like the lady's like, "What do they look like?" "They look like glasses." They're silver. She's like, "What color?" She's like, "Are they gold? Are they silver? Are they clear?" "They're silver. They're silver. They're glasses so I can see." And like,
That reminds me of my Gus Bus character from GTRP, where I'd walk
dude,
around and,
yeah,
"What? I need my glasses. I need my glasses. Do you have my
dude, I felt
glasses?"
so bad for this guy. But the TSA was so rude to him. They were just like, "Oh, this fucking old guy," But it's like dude, you've lost his glasses. Why did they take his glasses to begin with? You know, this poor guy, man. And so that's why if you watch the vlog, you see me going down the escalator. I'm just like, what a nightmare. Like something that should have taken like 5 minutes took like 25 because these idiots. I don't know if it's like the technology's too new. They don't know how to use it or what, but they were just all grumps and like it's just like, dude, I know, I get it. TSA is not glamorous. It's definitely not a job that I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Like if it really came down to it and I needed a job, I would happily go do TSA. I don't care. I would be the happiest TSA guy ever because I've worked shittier jobs than that. You know, I've done shittier things. I don't see how that's that bad. There's a pay, you can actually get promotions, benefits, like it's not a bad gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe these people are just miserable because they like can't smoke weed or something. Like they I don't know,
Well,
man.
yeah. I
They're just
mean,
all
well,
grumpy.
do you need a security clearance for TSA?
I mean, you have to get cleared for it, but since I had a top secret clearance or whatever, or not tops, I had a secret clearance.
Oh.
So like below top secret.
Yeah.
There's classified, secret, top secret.
No,
So I had like yeah.
it's unclass, confidential, secret, then top secret.
Well, for the Coast Guard, it's different. Whatever.
No, that's
Um,
a national thing, dude.
they use a different thing for like aircraft intelligence shit. Like it's a different scale. Literally, I would literally get on the computer and it would be like checking your clearance, and it would show classified, secret, top secret,
Well, no,
and it
because
would
everything
turn
that
green on secret.
everything
I'm
that
telling you how it was.
I don't
They
think
literally
that
spent
doesn't make any
100,000.
sense. I don't think that makes sense.
You didn't work the same. I worked for Homeland Security.
I don't. I
They
don't.
have their own way of doing things. It's not DoD.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
Anyways, I had a secret clearance, so I'm pretty sure I would get into the TSA no problem. Um.
Now I just look stupid.
Anyways, that was awful. And so I get through that, and I'm like, there's. I had eaten so much food that night before, and not slept enough that I was just like feeling like shit, and I was like, I really don't want to get on this flight feeling queasy. You know how like I was just like not
How
feeling
long was the
good. I was
flight?
like, I need. I'll get into that. So, uh, so flying back to Atlanta again, and so that was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I'm like, I'm gonna nap the whole time, but I've gone on planes with an empty stomach, feeling queasy already, you know, and like it's the taking off, that whole like taking off and then getting to the altitude that sucks. And so I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna get like a breakfast sandwich from somewhere. So I went to Shake Shack because I was like, they got breakfast sandwiches. It was really good. They had like burger buns, but it was sausage, egg, and cheese, and it was like it tasted high quality and stuff. Boom, ate that. Made some G Fuel hydration to get some electrolytes in because I felt like I was a little dehydrated from drinking Coke Zero before bed and having like an 8 ounce glass of wine or whatever at the dinner. So, dude, this new hydration plus focus thing, like it's better than regular hydration. I'm telling you right now.
What?
I think it works
As-
better.
Oh, like the benefits are
It
better?
ta- yeah, it works better. I feel like it they have this thing called cognizant in it that's supposed to like help your brain function a little better. And I really do feel like it gets rid of brain fog because it like it made me feel better. Um I think it hydrates you better than regular hydration. It tastes better. It legitimately tastes better to me. Like cause it's more like fruity flavors, so like it tastes like real fruit and stuff. Highly recommend it, guys. Check out Refill Hydration Plus Focus. Code Danny D. Um. Anyways, I get I get on the plane. I sleep the whole time, but they gave me like Delta Comfort. I flew Delta the whole time. Delta Comfort Plus, which gives you like more leg room and stuff, and your seat goes back a little farther on the way there. But on the way back, since they were like full flights, I had regular seats, and so I woke up and my neck felt like it. I was like, oh god, my neck, you know. I get off the plane.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
my neck. I'm like, all right. I want to try this. I know Atlanta has a Jersey Mike's on the way to my gate, right, or like near my gate. I want to try this like sub in a tub thing that I keep seeing on TikTok. Like that sounds cool, you know? So I'm like, all right, I walk over to the Jersey Mike's, and this looks like they took a school cafeteria, like school kitchen, and just slapped Jersey Mike's above the thing. It looked awful. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. The line was terrible too, but like it just, I was like, I don't even know if they do the sub in a tub of this one. This looks like they we got bread, you know, like that's it. And so I'm like, what am I gonna get then? And I look over and I'm like, oh, Chick-fil-A. So I got some Chick-fil-A nuggies, ate those. Um, got on my flight. I watched Blue Velvet, which I'm gonna talk about later. Phenomenal movie, 5 out of 5. David Lynch, who just passed away, made it. Unlike anything I've ever seen, but in a good way. Unlike some of his movies before that, I was like, these are like fever dreams. Um, and then flew back to Albuquerque. It was really cool because part of the Netflix thing was like they covered your Ubers, so I got an Uber ride home and showered, got some Chipotle, and went to bed because I was so tired. But yeah, the trip was really fast, and I definitely did not sleep enough the entire time. So I was so underslept. I slept for like 14 hours or whatever the day that I got back.
I just
So
want to say on behalf of Jersey Mike's, uh, I went to Jersey Mike's today, and there were two people who were working there, and they were extremely nice, and they made my sandwich very well.
I'm
So
down to try it when I get there.
we're not going to Jersey Mike's when you're here, dude.
We can't get no.
No, man, we're gonna see a movie and get food afterwards. We're gonna have
Let's
plenty of
be
food.
fatties
I
on
can't eat
me.
that much food, dude. I can't. I'd have to save the
um,
food for like the next day or something.
I'm gonna stop at a Jersey Mike's while I'm driving or something.
Well, there's one that's close to here. It's just I'm saying like I'm not gonna eat that sandwich if we go. Not until the
No,
next
no, it's
day.
fine. Because we're definitely gonna get like a big ass popcorn and
Oh,
stuff at
I'm
the
getting a
movie.
freaking
So
if they have a garlic parmesan pretzel, I'm getting that. Freaking
I think they have. I think Cinemark has pretzel bites, but
we probably wouldn't go to a Cinemark. I don't even know if they have that
it's
here.
Sensory and Cinemark are the same company.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Like when I was in San Francisco, it was Century, but over here it's Cinemark. I don't know. I don't know why it's like that, but anyways, um, I'm posting the interviews that I did in clips. TikTok just disqualified one from the Creator Fund saying it wasn't my content and rejected my appeal. So I'm experimenting with some things to try and get around that because that's bullshit. I created a support ticket. I was like, how is this not my content? You know? And they were like,
Commies.
oh, well, these are the reasons that, you know, something could be not original content. I'm like, none of those apply. None of them apply. Can you tell me what the specific reason is? And that's where I'm at with that. So, um, that's frustrating. But the interviews are great, so I'm excited to keep sharing those with you guys. Be on the lookout for those. Quick ad break. Support us with Patreon. We have had a lot of people join the Discord, which is free. Um, we have a we have a giveaway here we're going to do in a minute, but there's all kinds of benefits. Any film announcements about Always Ready, you're going to see in there first before I post it publicly. So if you want to be first to know about any developments, because there are some big developments happening, I just can't say anything yet. That's why there was not really any updates this week, but it's happening, man, and I still am like in that stage where I'm like, I can't believe I'm really making a movie. You know what I mean? Like it's something I've never done before and something I've talked about wanting to do since I was a kid. So it's crazy. But if you want to be the first one to know when we announce something like a big talent attached or something like that, join the Discord. It's free. But if you want to game with us, you want access to giveaways, producer credits, we're going to be doing a producer episode for episode number 75. So any of the producers in the Patreon who are a part of those the associate producer or co-producer tiers, which are $50 and $100 a month, you get to come on as a guest. It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be so much fun.
Sorry, I'm looking at the Google Doc and I'm looking at what I wrote in there the other
Oh
day.
yeah. Just got like fuck you. Anyways, join the Patreon. We would love to have you, and your support is huge.
Yeah,
Um,
we also have a ton of fun in there. So
yeah,
yeah, we're always in there, dude. Our
we
our gaming sessions have been great,
they
especially
have been.
with the new zombies map. I'm really enjoying that. We'll talk about that as well. But we have so many inside jokes in there now. There's always new ones.
Yeah,
So I
And
love paying
Cisco's
that
always
man.
in there like,
Yeah, oh,
oh.
yeah.
He's gonna be like, dude. After the Jorge episode, he was like, "Yo, you guys, Cisco's just a nice guy or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
leave him alone." I'm like, bro, nothing but love. We have a producer chat in there. So if you're just a producer, I have like notifications on. So if anybody that's a producer says anything, I immediately answer that shit. We also have a Patreon only chat, which I do similarly, but if you guys are talking a bunch, like I can't, answer
Yeah.
everything in time, but I do pay more attention to that than the general chat, just because the general chat's always, I mean, people in there, they're like talking about Pokemon. I don't
Or
have anything to say
wrestling.
about Pokemon. Yeah,
Yeah.
or WWE and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to like be able to talk to me about anything, join the Patreon and you'll get access to the Patreon chat, which I am very active in. So, um, G Fuel code Dandy D if you want to get some G Fuel, but they are doing a Valentine's Day BOGO, so I don't blame you if you get that instead. They have a Valentine's Day version of Stab Stimulant that's pink instead of red, so that's cool. They brought back Kiwi Strawberry, which I'm not a big kiwi fan, but if you do, it is very good if you like kiwi. I just don't like kiwi flavored stuff. Just never been a fan of it. But that's I think everything to update with G Fuel. I already talked about the hydration, which I cannot recommend enough. I think it's the best thing they've released in a long time, honestly. Um, Code Danny D for 10% off Fit Butters. We have like 9 more flavors to try, but I'm telling you, there's only been like 1 or 2 flavors that were like, eh. The pecan pie didn't really like blow me away. It was just kind of like cashew almond butter with some pecans in it. But dude, the mint cookies and cream blew us away. You know those chocolates they give you at Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Tastes like that, but with Oreos in it. It's good. So yeah, get you some Fit Butters, get you some G Fuel. Uh, if you do join the Patreon, we do Discord giveaways, we do monthly G Fuel giveaways, Blu-ray giveaways. But this week I decided to give away, do a surprise giveaway for this Mighty Pooh Mighty Pooh vinyl figure from Conker's Bad Fur Day. This, I believe the only way you could get this YouTube's figure is by getting the G Fuel collector's box that it came with. But the winner of that is Mr. Knight. So congratulations. I'll be sending this Mighty Pooh vinyl figure. It's literally a turd monster. Um, that'll be coming to you next week.
You just sent him a box of a turd.
Pretty much. Anyways, congratulations, Mr. Knight. We're gonna be doing some other giveaways. Well, we'll talk about next week's episode is gonna be interesting, but we'll be doing some giveaways while I'm
Yeah.
there. So.
And that yeah, that one's gonna be in person for those who weren't aware. So that'll be.
I don't know how we're gonna do it.
I have the Elgato Wave 3 still, so it should be fine.
You think you're gonna be able to get 2 mics set up so you can have your headset and I'm talking through that, or what?
No, we're just gonna have the mic between us. It's not that
So
big
we're
of
just
a-
gonna so we're gonna have to fight to use the mic. It's gonna be funny. Um,
Shouldn't have to fight. I mean,
I'm like, let me talk. No, 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 no.
just don't hit the mic because that's the one where if you tap the top, it'll mute it.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was my mic. I remember how it works. Yeah, gotcha. Um, yeah, next week's episode is gonna be interesting. It's just gonna be one big screen, the two of
Yeah.
us in the same
I still
location.
well, that shouldn't be hard to do in OBS. That won't be hard. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Um, we got our giveaway taken care of.
Patreon question?
As a Patreon member, you also have the ability to ask questions to be answered on the podcast. We've got quite a few today, so let's get going on these. Super Dude 01 says, "What is your favorite Steelbook or 4K Blu-ray movie that I own?" Steelbook. I think my favorite 4K movie I own is The Thing.
Mm.
I mean, come on, The Thing in 4K is just iconic.
Because I don't know. Is that question just for you? Because I have gotten one steelbook.
That's
Oh,
my
that's a good
favorite
one.
Steelbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got a steelbook for Black Ops 3 when that came out. That's still book that I've gotten. And that one was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That answers Super Dude's question. Tyler Moen asks a couple questions. He said, one, if you owned a movie theater, excuse me, if you owned a movie theater, what would the name of it be? I mean, I'd probably pull a Kevin Smith and just name it after like my production company. So it'd be like Good Cookie Cinemas. And then like it would be like, at my favorite movie theater. What about you? What would you call yours?
I don't know, man. I don't think I'd ever open up a movie theater. I'm
It's a
not
theoretical. What would you call it?
Tharkin's Heaters.
Arkansas. You just rip
Thark-
off trademark infringement. Chris would open his movie theater and be closed in like a day because they'd be like, "Yo, what the fuck? You can't call it that." That's funny.
Yeah,
We only serve garlic John Brett's.
that's like oh we don't even actually
No
we
popcorn.
don't
Everybody's like,
actually-
"Why do I come here?"
everyone here has smelly breath. It doesn't.
Some guy just comes in popcorn. Do you have any? No. we only have Baja Blast, garlic parmesan pretzels. Get your shit and get out.
That's oh I'm gluten
All you
intolerant.
show's the Emoji Movie.
If someone's like gluten intolerant, they just get straight seasoning. They don't even get the pretzel.
You have a gluten-free version of this pretzel? Yeah, I got you. It's just a bag of seasoning.
Well, one thing I would
Voted America's worst movie. 5 years in a row.
what's so okay so I don't know what it's like at other movie theaters because the only movie theater that I've ever been in my life is Harkins Theaters. But one of the things that happened during the pandemic is they stopped doing the thing where they have the shared the shared shakers for the seasoning. And now in order to get seasoning, you have to buy it at the concession stand.
That's how all other
That's how
movie
all-
theaters are. I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
That
so
sucks.
I wouldn't do that. I would give it out for free. That's me. That's what I would do.
I remember having to refill those things and like breathing that shit in. That sucked. But yeah,
All right.
Harkins Theaters.
Tharkin's, no, not Tharkin's Heaters. Yeah. So no,
Oh,
yeah.
you just take the key and move it.
Yeah.
Damn. What are your biggest pet peeves? I gotta think a little bit.
Oh,
Like,
I hate when I'm talking and like I'm getting deep into a thought and someone cuts me off and I'm like almost done with what I'm about to say. Man, it does that a lot.
I'm trying to think. I know I've got pet peeves, but I can't like think of one. Um, I mean, does this count? I hate it on TikTok when people are like, "Oh, it's so cool! It's my birthday tomorrow."
What the heck?
They do that all the time. I'm just like, "Happy birthday!"
Oh, in like your comments?
Yeah, they'll be like, they just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's not a pet peeve. It's just like,
Well,
or no, I guess when people are just like hi or reply to me,
or
or they're like,
first.
or no, okay, here you go. When people say, "Oh, I love your content so much. Can I get a pin?" Bro, pinning on TikTok hasn't been a thing for like 2.5 years now. They took it away 2.5 years ago. People still don't think you can get pinned. Get mom or phone back.
You can do it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Not-
but you
not
can't
TikTok,
do that on
yeah.
TikTok. They took it away 2.5. I don't know why they took it away. That's stupid. But
Probably to combat spam related to pinning.
I just wish I could pin my own comments so I know people could see what I'm trying to say. But I don't know. Maybe because people would pin links or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, check my
Fuck.
link tree so you can get my special content. Okay.
Go to my special content.
Yeah, well, and then
Um,
they'll put like it's like a link tree that links to their Twitter that links to. They
Yeah.
gotta jump through like 8 hoops. TikTok cracks down on that crap hard, bro. Which is one thing that I do appreciate.
Well,
about
I'm
TikTok.
glad. Yeah, because it used to be really bad. You remember?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely remember.
But thank you for your questions, Tyler. We got a real kick out of that movie theater one. Anthony O'Vale says, "You wake up and you're the last one on Earth. What's the first thing you're doing and why?" I'm taking a dump and not flushing. I'm gonna find a bathroom,
dude,
take a nasty
dude.
dump,
So,
not flush. No, I'm just
um,
kidding.
uh, God, I remember we were talking about when I was working at Best Buy. One of my supervisors, supervisor that you actually knew, his name was Joseph. Shout out to
Mhm.
Joseph. He was
Childhood friend,
wait, what?
childhood friend
Yeah,
of mine.
yeah. So he was talking about it was like basically if it was number two, that's the only time you should ever flush. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, if you save water. And I'm like, so you're saying you're gonna pee in the toilet and then just leave it there and then just keep peeing in the same puddle until you have to take a dump? I'm like,
We had to do that on the boat for water conservation sometimes. They said if it's yellow, let it mellow.
yes, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so here's the thing, right? I remember I tried that once for like 2 days, and immediately I was like, this is disgusting, dude. Like,
Well, I think you gotta flush it once a day. Come on.
well,
Like,
it was like,
I mean, if it's the middle of the
it
night and I
was.
don't want to wake the baby up, I won't flush sometimes, but only if I pee.
I'm saying,
You know,
I'm
like I'm not
saying
gonna take
like
a dump and just leave it.
well, yeah, I try. What I'm saying is like
Gross.
I did the method where I would only flush when I take a dump. I did that for 2 days. So the first day, like I maybe let's say I take a dump twice, right? Still, it's the fact that I'm like you ever take a dump and you get splashback, right? Like I don't want that to be pee. Like that's gross, man. Like I don't like
Yeah.
especially pee that's been
Um,
sitting there.
I think the first thing I'm doing is I'm gonna go find like a badass Ford Raptor that's very versatile. I'm
What
gonna get that or
is
a
it?
Mustang
So is this
like
forever?
GT500. It's just you're the last one on Earth. What's the first thing you're doing and why?
Oh, bro, I probably like, ooh, dude, go push the Leaning Tower of Pisa over.
Bro, it shows violence. Damn. Yeah, no, I would go get a cool truck or something. I mean, I guess the only thing that sucks is like you still got to pay for gas. So how
No,
would that work?
no, you don't.
I guess I just steal a credit card from somebody. How are you gonna get the gas machine to work? You still got to put a card in there.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you have to pay for it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna find. Well, I gotta find somebody's credit card to use or something.
Well, they can still take cash, right? Well,
I
also,
think for cash you have to go to a cashier.
what stops you
And
from
they have
just
to like.
going inside the gas station and doing that?
I'm pretty sure to activate that it makes you put money in the register and shit. Or I don't know. You're right. There's probably a way around it. Whatever.
Well,
Anyways,
you could also
that's what
like
I would do.
you go to Area 51. That's what I would really do. Go see if there's aliens over there, bro.
The aliens are like, what happened to everybody?
It's real quiet in here all of a
They're drinking
sudden.
Baja Blast.
Man, that would be cool. You go over there. There is a UFO. Like I would be, and dude, then I'd fly it and probably crash and die because I don't know how to fly. What the heck? Oh, is that your fist?
Yeah. Thank you for that question, Anthony. Tommy Slay says, What if you could only communicate using movie quotes? That would suck.
Like Bumblebee?
No, that's like radio, right?
I think it's radio and actual like TV movie
Yeah,
quotes.
dude. There's a rumor right now that Shia LaBeouf's coming back and everything for like a final Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Dude, I would go see it. That's one movie where I'd actually probably see
I
it in
hope
theaters.
I honestly hope that happens. I
'Cause
think that would be huge for Shia LaBeouf too.
yeah,
You know,
well, because he's not a bad
come back.
actor.
He's a great actor. He's just a guy who struggles with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, if I had to communicate using only movie quotes, I think that would get annoying really fast.
Yeah, to an extent, unless.
Everywhere I show up and say hi, here's Johnny.
Okay, but at the same time, does it have to be iconic movie quotes or could it be any movie quote?
Yeah, because I guess anything is said in a movie at some point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you walk into a big room, there's so much room for activities.
No.
I'm gonna put my nutsack on your drum set.
Thank you for your question, Tommy. Nikki asks or our final question. If you could create a Call of Duty built from older Call of Duties, what game would you pick for multiplayer, zombies, and type of graphics?
Ooh, Black Ops 2 multiplayer, uh, Black Ops 3 zombies, and graphics. Ooh,
I like the
probably,
graphics we have right now.
yeah. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. The thing is, like, they did have that huge upgrade from their older engine to whatever they used for Modern Warfare 2019. But
Hmm.
it's really like, I mean, if you want something really stylized, not to sound like a Black Ops 3 meat writer, but Black Ops 3 honestly had like a really interesting style.
I would
Very
say
vibrant.
OG Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Um, I guess Black Ops 6 Zombies is my favorite zombies since like the older stuff because I don't want to go back too far to where there's like just Coca-Cola machines, you know. Um, so yeah, Black Ops 6 Zombies and type of graphics.
That's the hard
I don't
one.
know. I mean, I guess like Modern Warfare E graphics,
I do want to add to the question as far
new Modern Warfare 3 graphics.
as far as like sound effects and gunplay go. This is a little controversial, but Advanced Warfare, I really liked how the guns felt in Advanced Warfare. But yeah,
Yeah, that's my answer.
that's a really good question.
Yeah, good question, Nikki. Thank you guys for your questions. Um, Perfect segue into our Black Ops 6 slash general gaming talk. I am still really bummed out that GTA 6 is not going to be on PC right away because I feel like I'm gonna miss out
I
because
honestly,
I just don't want to. I don't have the time to set it up, play it on console, and like get used to a controller again.
well,
I don't
you
know.
can use keyboard and mouse on console. I'm
Yeah, but then I got
still
to go through the trouble of buying another keyboard and mouse and setting it up. That's true. Maybe I'll do that.
I'm not I'm
Um,
I don't care. I'm not gonna play GTA 6 for a while probably. I'm actually probably one of the few people who doesn't really care about Grand Theft Auto that much.
I just want to play the story.
I'm worried about multiplayer being on there being like just as bad as GTA 5, where they don't do anything about hackers, and then you're constantly being chased around by people on freaking flying bikes with missiles.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're saying that like apparently a full version of the game that's playable is being tested, which is a good sign that the game is coming out soon. So
I just want Elder
they're
Scrolls
saying
6
fall
to come out.
2025. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed to holiday 2025, but it's supposed to come out this year. Oh,
I really
very
want
cool.
Elder Scrolls 6, or if they came out with a Fallout 5 somehow, that would be wild. But I don't really want a Fallout 5 right now.
Yeah, no, Elder Scrolls 6 would be dope because Starfield was a letdown.
Yeah.
Um,
The Outer Worlds 2 is coming out. That looks pretty good.
I didn't play the first one. I own it, but I didn't play it.
The first one, the dialogue was a little meh, but yeah. As far
But
as
is the
Black Ops,
gameplay fun?
oh yeah, dude. Also, like the gunplay, there's so much gun variety. The only thing I really wish that they had done with the gunplay is made it similar to Fallout 4. You just go to a workbench and you just can change stuff out. I think everything was
Is it more
just
like Borderlands, where it's like randomly?
I don't think it's been a while, but I just remember like the guns had like set elements on them and stuff like that. That was like a big part of it because I think there was like a radiation element and stuff like that. But I think I remember I beat the game and then I was like, okay, now what? Like I don't remember if the game just ended or what, but I remember I was just kind of like whatever. I don't feel like playing this again because like one of the things that turns me off about a lot of those games, Cyberpunk did this as well. When you beat the main story, it just ends, and if you wanted to go do the side quests, you have to go back to a previous save. Like if stuff's urgent, why would I do side quests? I should probably do the main quest, and then I can go and explore afterwards. I don't know. That's nitpicky though.
We played the Tomb this morning for our gaming session, and I really like that map. It's
It's
a
the
little. You think it's small?
well, that was the point.
Yeah, it definitely feels
It's
small.
supposed to be the size of or around the same size as Liberty Falls.
I don't know. Liberty Falls. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it's like
I
laid
think
out.
Liberty Falls probably feels bigger because there's more verticality to it.
Probably. Yeah.
Um,
Um.
I think
I
the ice
find
staff
myself
still
getting
sucks.
trapped easier in this one for some reason. I think it's because there's so many directions the zombies can come
Well,
from.
also it doesn't help that there's like five different kinds of special zombies because
That the special zombies are annoying on this
you
one for
have
sure.
bugs, you have parasites, you have um mimics, or as you called it, the shock mania, uh,
Shock maniac.
or shock maniac, yeah. The amalgam and the doppelgast, like you have all of those, plus the regular zombies. Plus you can fall off of cliffs.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest pet peeve of mine for this map is I hate randomly falling off the cliff. And if you don't have any armor,
You just
it will
die.
kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the thing with me, right? I just avoid that area. Like the only time I ever go to that area is either for maybe SAM
It's
trials, but it's mainly for the armor. So if I'm in the crazy place, it's like I'm good. The
it's
thi-
hard to avoid areas when you're playing with a squad because sometimes you have
yes,
to get away from people and their hordes and stuff. So
yes, but the one thing that they need to fix, that freaking ice staff. I don't know if
it's
they need to make
poo
the I don't
poo.
know if they need to buff the base version or make the upgrade easier to get, or
Have you
honestly,
gotten the upgrade?
no, I have a save on round 31 and I'm gonna try and upgrade it and see how good it is. But at this
So it's
point,
gonna be a letdown.
Jesus Christ, Treyarch, just make it so crate power works on that. Because it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, I
Damn.
looked into it, it doesn't work.
I
Yeah,
just hope they give us meal kick with the next map, dude.
me
I'm
too.
tired of not having it.
Yeah. Well, dude, could you
Because
imagine?
like, why would I want the ice staff if it takes up a slot of a normal gun and it's shit? You know, because I could see it being useful.
I really want if they did this for the last map, I would be so stoked. I would love it if there was a map where they had every single wonder weapon in one map.
I just thought of something.
What?
I wonder if you could use the ice staff to do that one challenge that's been broken, where like
Oh,
you need to
the element
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
it's like you hit him with the ice staff and then shoot him with like napalm or whatever. You know, I'm
that's
gonna
possible.
try that.
That's
I'm gonna try that.
Well, because the thing is, it shouldn't even be broken because it's not hard to get two elements going. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's just because like I mean the you can't use elemental pop for it, and so you would have to hit them with like the crypto freeze and then switch guns and hit them with like napalm. And to do
crypto
that,
freeze,
whatever it's
cryo
called,
freeze.
cryo freeze.
You
You can
freeze
tell
them.
I just don't care what
They
stuff is
turn it into
called.
Bitcoin.
I just do not. You like, yeah, you hit the zombie and they're like,
Cha-ching!
oh yeah,
Bitcoin.
I'm rich.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I. So does it say in the challenge that you're not supposed to use elemental pop for it?
Yeah, can't be elemental pop.
So you just have to have it on two weapons.
That's
The
what I'm saying, but it because it's like random, it's really hard to trigger them fast enough, you know? Because you basically have to like get one frozen, and while they're frozen, you have to get the next weapon to trigger, and you also have to not do too much damage to kill them before it triggers whatever. It's just a pain in the ass. I've seen other people saying that like it's one of the trickiest ones to do because it,
yeah.
it was broken at first and then they fixed it, but then when you think about how the mechanics work, it's I mean, I think maybe if I upgraded because I've been working on my perks, upgrading those augments, which I feel like they slowed down. Is it just me?
It might be that you are
I
at
feel like augment
the
research slowed down.
you might be at the higher tiers and those take longer.
No, like I started like a brand new one, like
Oh,
Deadshot, and it was
or
taking forever.
depth perception or whatever. I don't know. I got two tiers on it today when we were playing.
Maybe I'm tripping. I didn't look after our match, but
If it's XP based, that would make sense. But I thought it was, I don't know. I thought it was time based. I don't know.
I don't know. But the Terminator event is cool, but if you want Arnold and the exoskeleton skin, you gotta drop 3,000 COD points for that shit. It's really unfortunate because I would totally buy it if it was like maybe if it maybe even if it was only like I just don't see myself spending more than 2,400 COD points on something.
Well, I
It's
think
just too expensive.
so. The way that it
That's
used
$30.
the way that it used to work for the battle pass is that it was 1,000 COD points and then you'd get 1,100 or something like that, right? Did they not do that anymore, or is it 1,100 and you get 1,300?
I think it's 1,100 and you get 1,100.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Like, I wish that they would give you extra COD points so that you could buy
I mean, I
those
think if you're someone who
microtransactions.
has the time to really play Call of Duty all the time, it's like, and the fact that you could get the battle pass and then as long as you don't buy anything else, like still be able to get the battle pass every season, that's cool. But I mean,
But I would like it if I could
you know,
get if they could incentivize you to not only play a season but to play all six because you would get like let's say you get 1,300 COD points. I think I'm thinking of Fortnite where you get like extra V-Bucks. Um, but let's say your water bottle's in your camera by the way, whatever that is. um, let's say you paid 1,100 COD points, you get 1,300 back. Over the course of 6 seasons, you've now gotten 1,200 COD points, right? Go buy yourself a bundle. You know, like that's your incentive for playing all 6 seasons, right? So you've paid your $10 to get in,
Marvel
right?
Rivals has a way where you earn this currency that it takes a long time to earn, but you can convert it. So like I like that idea.
I, dude, I think that that's one thing that Destiny messed up with, where they had
There we
silver.
go.
Don't okay. They had silver, which is for like buying cosmetics, and then they had silver dust, which was like a fraction of what silver was. And
I
there's
think
stuff
you're
that
the
you
only person I know that like played Destiny 2 and is that passionate about it. That's not a
I
knock at
played it.
you.
I
I'm just
played it
saying
for
like
10 years, dude. I played it
yeah.
for
I don't
ten
know anybody who
years.
played it as much as you. I think a lot of people that I know that played it, they played it for like the first year and then gave up on it.
It had so much potential, bro.
And then not making a third one.
No, they're just updating the second one. They don't have the team for it anymore, dude. They laid off like a good chunk of their people.
Because if they made a third one, I would totally hop into it with you. But
They made a mobile game. That's all they did. And they're
God,
updating
I hate
Destiny
mobile
2.
games.
I know, but there's such a big market for it, man. Some people just they get their phone from their parents. They're
Those
like, "Oh,
microtransactions.
yeah, that is well." I've thought about making a mobile game just to see how it would turn out, but I don't think I would sell a game that I made for more than like $1. I
Let's
don't.
make a cookie game.
I had a concept for a game. I like the game that I made at not the horse racing game, but I made a game at work because I was on downtime, and like it's like in between doing stuff, and and I was like, I bet you I could rewrite this in freaking C sharp and like I could actually sell it, but it's very basic and it's hard. But anyways, that's the whole different thing. Um,
I like the Tomb. I just
yeah, it's
haven't been
good.
playing games a lot because I was out of town, and then I'm going out of town again, so I'm probably not gonna play. Maybe I'll bring my Steam Deck with me,
Hmm.
but I
Really
don't know.
quick, I do want to talk about the Fantastic Four trailer. I know you were like, eh, but
I just didn't really get that hyped from it.
I'm not necessarily hyped as much as I am like, wow, like I kind of like the atmosphere of this because I think it takes place in like the
Yeah,
50s, right?
I like that. My thing that bothers me is they're like, we are not doing the origin story again. It's been done enough. And then in the trailer, it's like they're showing the origin story. Like, I just,
I think that it starts after they've had that origin part. Like I don't
but they're still showing how it
I think
happened.
there's gonna be flashbacks, but
Yeah, I don't need that.
yeah, I think that the style of it is really cool, and I also think that they're not gonna go for something as like deep and connected to the rest of the Marvel universe as like say for example like Captain America, right? And that's there's something to say about that as far as it being like wow, like that's it's gonna be like an actual movie that's just supposed to be good as opposed to it's gonna be part of this franchise, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I like the casting. I like how the thing looks. He
yeah,
looks very comic accurate.
yeah, which people were complaining. They're like, the CGI is so bad, and I'm like, dude, it's based off the freaking comic. He's supposed to look kind of goofy.
Well, it's not only that. Like the movie's not even like fully done yet. The
Yeah.
CGI is something they work on until literally the movie comes out. I hate when people judge CGI based off trailers.
Well, so the thing I was gonna compare it to though is the Superman trailer that came out, right? I feel like that has a very similar vibe where it's like it's just the story, right? It's not oh well we got to connect it to this whole other universe. It's just the story. Like you have characters from that universe, but it doesn't feel like it's just another puzzle piece, right? Like it feels like
Yeah.
it could be its own thing. And I really hope that's where they move as far as superhero movies, where it's just you're telling the story about these superheroes because I'm tired of having to go and watch like 8 other movies and a TV show to figure out what I missed. Like even
I
Deadpool
agree.
3, they made references to Loki. Like I was like, what the heck? Like I mean, like luckily I knew the references because I watched season 1. I didn't watch season 2, but I watched season 1. So I got the references, but I'm like, someone who hasn't seen Loki is gonna be like, what am I watching?
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
mean, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I I'm hyped, but I'm not crazy hyped. I'll
yeah,
watch it for sure, but
yeah,
I'm kind of the same way I am about. I guess I'm more hyped than I am for Captain America: Brave New World, but
yeah.
mainly because of the casting. I think
Well,
I really like the
I
cast.
know what's his name? Joseph Quinn, the guy from Stranger Things. He's gonna be in the Fantastic Four. And I was like, why do I recognize his face? Because he has a different haircut in it, and his hair's like blonde in this. And I was like, oh, that's who it is. And I was like, okay,
He's a great
okay,
actor.
yeah. I
He
was like,
was
this is
really
gonna
good
be
in the
good.
A
Yeah,
Quiet Place Day One. He was really good in. It's
yeah. So I am pretty excited for it. And then they have Pedro Pascal in it, and
gonna be
uh,
fun to do a review of Captain America with you.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've missed so much. I'm gonna end up watching that movie and be like, what the heck is that? I haven't watched anything Marvel
Red
related in a
Hulk.
while.
Eh,
Dude, Harrison Ford did an interview. They were like, did you see that? Where they were like, so what did you think of the fact that you're playing Red Hulk? Like when you saw yourself, what did you think? He was like, oh, I was like, wow, like I didn't realize it was gonna be red. And they were like, what color did you think you were gonna be? Oh, green. It's like,
well, I saw they were like, you you are one of the you're a big actor, and you haven't. I mean, the Marvel universe has been a thing for however long, and you're just now finally joining. Like the franchise. What made you decide to make that leap? And he goes, the money was good.
yeah. And I'm happy that he's still acting, even if he is kind of being a grump sometimes. But I think that's just part of his
He's
character.
always been a grump.
Yeah,
Like, have you
but
seen that video where I think it's like David Blaine, whoever that magician is, and he does like he literally dude, I don't know if Harrison Ford's acting because he's a good actor, so he could be, but it didn't seem like it. But the magician like has him pick a card, and Harrison Ford takes the card out, and he's like, and Harrison Ford, you can tell, is like watching him, like, what's this guy? This guy's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. And then he's like, um, all right, now put it back, and he's like, let's take that apple. And then they take the apple, and he's like, slice it open. And Harrison Ford like slices the apple open, and the card's in there, and he's like, get the fuck out of my house.
he's definitely acting. Yeah,
I mean, like if you watch it, he looks shook, but like I said, he could be acting. I don't know
yeah.
what the purpose of filming that was for.
You
Who
know
knows?
who's
But
actually a surprisingly good actor? Mike Tyson.
I feel like I've only seen him in The Hangover.
So he was doing some skit where it was like I don't know if it was a commercial or what, but it was like or I don't think it was I think it's
He's
part of like
funny.
yeah he's very funny. It was Mike Tyson was this guy's neighbor, and he's like hey man let me make you a sandwich, and he's like I'm good man I no like come over I'll make you a sandwich, and he's like all right, and he goes over and he makes this giant freaking sandwich. He goes oh I don't think I can eat that. He goes eat it. He's like, I don't, he's like, eat it. It's like this giant sandwich.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, like he's pretty good at like because he knows he's intimidating, right? So he's good. He's pretty good at like using that to his advantage. But I think the only problem is I think it's kind of all that he's like one of those what's the term like typecasted type like
Yeah.
actors, yeah. So But and by typecast I mean he literally just plays himself, but he plays himself very well. So
Hmm.
yeah, he
Very
matches
self-aware.
he matches his reputation.
Uh, Yeah. You ready to give our recommendations and wrap this bad boy up?
Yes, sir.
You can go first.
So I'm gonna recommend a channel called Fireship. He just basically does um, like short 5 minute videos about tech news, and occasionally he'll do a little bit of like deeper dives. So he did a lot of coverage on the DeepSeek stuff when it happened, and I think his style is like that perfect balance between being informative and still including them like some memes. Um,
Hmm.
but
Keeps it light.
yeah, it's like because it's the style that I like is when someone's voice is very monotone, but they can be very funny despite that. Like there's some skill to it. And it's like I wouldn't necessarily call it like deadpan humor as much as it is like, hey, like I know I sound like I'm 40 and I'm old, but I know this meme that you know, and I'm like, like cool, I get that meme. So I think his way of explaining a lot of that tech stuff is really good. So fire ship.
Cool. I got two movies to recommend. I watched September 5 the other night, which is about the Olympics that happened in Germany, 1972. And I think Palestinians held Iranian, like this Iranian Olympic team hostage. Um, it's a real thing that happened, but it's all from the perspective of ABC News, and you see them basically being like the only ones that can report about it because they're the only ones that are in Germany when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, really good actors, really good cast, really intense. Um, if you don't know what happened, um, the ending is very interesting. It's definitely a movie where like it chooses to like handle it in a way where it's not political, which I appreciate. But when I looked at Letterboxd, there's people who are like, "Oh, it doesn't respect this culture and all that stuff," and it's like, dude, that wasn't the point of the movie. The point of the movie is to make you feel like the news crew and how they're kind of like in the dark about everything and figuring out everything as it goes, and also the weight of the situation and how they're the like basically whatever they report, all the other news agencies are going to report that too because they're the first ones to figure stuff out and
Yeah.
like they have people on scene. They like locked down they locked down the area and they're only letting athletes in. And so one of the news reporters is like, they like dress him up as like an athlete, and like he's just running like film reels back and forth to give them footage to use. And it's just like there's things like that where it's just like that's so crazy how it worked back then. Um, but really good movie. I watched it on Vudu. I wanted to see it in theaters, but they
Oh,
fumbled
so
the
you
release
have it
big
on
time.
Vudu so I could watch it?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's only an hour and a half too, so it's like a really quick
Oh,
watch.
nice.
Doesn't overdo it. The main guy who's running things with glasses, great actor. He was in like The Big Short. He was in The Finest Hours as like
I
a
need to watch
non-rate.
The Big Short. That's about the recession, right?
Yeah, the housing crash. Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. Um, Christian Bale's phenomenal in that. So is Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling. That cast is stacked. Um, the other thing I wanted to recommend is I've been, like I said before, rewatch or not rewatching. I've been watching all of David Lynch's movies for the first time. So I watched in order of release. So I watched Eraserhead, which was made for like $100,000 at the time,
That's the
and
one that
so it
was
was
super
like
weird, right?
super weird. Didn't feel like it had a story, but like you could kind of, based on symbolism, figure out what's going on. So that one was super weird. And then I watched The Elephant Man, which is like based on a true story and was like really good, but like really sad. And so I was like, cool, very depressing. Never want to watch that again, but very well made. And then I watched David Lynch's Dune, and that was
Oh.
on the plane ride. That was on the plane ride from Atlanta to New York on the way there, and it is so weird because like it's 80s, so everything looks like cheap and kind of weird, but it's sci-fi, so it's like everything looks otherworldly. But the problem with the movie is that even though it's really good, and the main actor who plays the character that Timothy Chalamet does,
Hmm.
um, he's the same guy that's in like David Lynch's other movies and like Twin Peaks and the new Fallout show. He was the dad in the new Fallout show with the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So it's him when he's like super young. But the problem is they're telling the whole book in 2 hours and 15 minutes, and so it just has to like rapid fire
Because you,
through
you said you
everything.
said it was like it's like so the newer Dune 1 and 2. It's like those two movies, but in one movie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
my letterbox title was like the Cliff Notes versions of Dune. Super weird and like the David Lynch really likes practical effects and like body horror stuff, so there was a lot of stuff that was just like, ugh, that's icky looking, you know. Um, that was fine, but then I watched Blue Velvet on the way back, and that is the first movie with David Lynch where I was like, okay, I get it now. It's the same guy that was in Dune and the Twin Peaks, and he's he lives in a small town in like North Carolina, and he's like his dad. It starts out and like his dad has like a stroke or a heart attack or something, and so he like walks down the street through a field to a hospital, right? And he stops and he's trying to hit this glass bottle with rocks, right? And he goes and sees his dad, and then on the way back, he stops and goes to do it again. But then when he goes to pick up a rock, he finds this ear, and so he takes it to this like detective that he knows, and he's like, "Yeah, I just found this fucking ear." He's like, well, like that's weird, isn't it? And he's like, "Yeah, like what the hell?" And so he decides to like start investigating himself, and he falls in love with the chick it's the female lead in the original Jurassic Park, Laura
mhm.
Dern, but she's super young and she just gives a phenomenal performance, and you really like they had really good chemistry. But he ends up also kind of falling for this like singer that is roped into all this stuff. But then it's like David Lynchian, where it's very dreamy and there's like little nightmare sequences, but like very restrained, and like you can tell right away what the purpose is. And so I was like really impressed with that because I was like, wow, this is like it all feels very well planned. Um, but then there's like Dennis Hopper, and he's just full crazy, and like he's like huffing oxygen the whole movie. Like that's his drug of choice. It's just a crazy movie. So well done. Great atmosphere. Great story. Really satisfying ending that almost made me cry, and I didn't think that would happen because I was just like, oh man, I'd like it was just perfect, perfect. It's called Blue Velvet. I think I owned it on Vudu, but I think you can watch it on like HBO or something.
Mm.
Crazy weird movie, but one that's done so well that it's like only him could have like David Lynch is the only person who could have made this work. 100%. So it's my favorite movie of his so far. A lot of people say their favorite is Mulholland Drive, which is like I think 10 years after this one. So there's a couple movies I got. The next one I'm watching, I have to watch another like historical website copy of, like I did with the Elephant Man, because I don't know why some movies you can't watch on digital or find anywhere, and like even on Amazon, it's like, oh, you can't even buy a copy, like because people are holding on to them because they're worth something. But it's called like Wild at Heart, and it's got Nicolas Cage in it. So I'm like, oh, that's gonna be an interesting wild movie because it's David Lynch and Nicolas Cage. So I put those two together, and you're in for something wild, you know. So I'm gonna watch that next, and then there's a couple other movies like Mulholland Drive and stuff. But and then I feel like every movie I watch of his after this, I'm gonna be like, is it as good as Blue Velvet? Does it feel like Blue Velvet? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, and the title Blue Velvet is perfect after you watch the movie and like see like it's just perfect film. I gave it 5 out of 5. I was like, okay, this could end up being my favorite David Lynch movie. So, and my cinematographer is like a diehard fan of David Lynch. So now I can talk to him about that, and that's really cool. Um, but I will update you guys as I watch more of his movies. But if I end up liking the rest of his movies half as much as I liked Blue Velvet, then I think I am gonna end up watching Twin Peaks. And there's a couple of Twin Peaks movies, but um, yeah, no. And the guy who played the lead that's in Fallout, I think his name is like Kyle McLaughlin or something like that. Um, Great actor. I really like him. Good actor. Very unique. But yeah, if you want to watch like a perfect art house, but also like really good like crime thriller, unlike anything you've seen, Check out Blue Velvet.
Cool.
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 Cool beans. Like you
Cool.
remember
Cool. Cool beans. Beans. Cool beans. What
cool
was that
beans.
from?
Hot Rod.
Ah, yeah. I remember
Hot
that.
Rod is not necessarily a good movie, but it's like a guilty pleasure,
Yeah, it's a
right?
classic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got a lot of good moments in it.
Yeah.
Bill Hader in that movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
We just ran over a small bus.
I'll have to rewatch that one too. I gotta add that to my list. But there's so many movies I need to watch, man. But all right, well,
Yeah, we'll see you
that's
next week for a very interesting episode of Cool Ranch Corner because gonna be at Chris's place. So
yeah, yeah, dude. You better not freaking stink the place up, though. I swear to God.
I am going to eat a bunch of like those. I'm gonna eat a bunch of beef jerky and those fiber like I found all these like
Man,
fiber candies to give you
no,
gas.
no.
Yeah, I'm gonna stink. Like we're gonna be sitting there. Will you please stop farting? God.
You're sleeping outside. Get out of here. Go sleep in your car. So, well, my car has heated seats, so man, shut up.
So it heats up your farts.
I'm gonna go sleep out there with my taillights.
I am excited to take you for a ride in the car though.
Dang, you almost said you were excited to show me your taillights.
That too.
No, no, no.
We'll see you next week, guys. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Oh, hey, wait.
Hey.
Follow the Cool Ranch Corner
Oh,
YouTube channel
yeah.
and watch the old episodes with remastered audio and check out his thumbnails. His thumbnails are all great.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
the
go
fast
support
food
that.
one. That one's the best.
Because we're gonna eventually move over to that channel. So
Yeah,
move with us.
we're now. I think today I'm gonna upload episode 21.
So we're like almost a third of the way through
Well, so
catalog.
yeah, like I would say like maybe. I'm not gonna do the math right now. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and listening.
Cool Ranch Corner. Go Danny D. Good Butters G Fuel.
Bye.